Based on this upside, about a 19 to 18% resistance to a support, bargain hunting can come back again right over here. Since the beginning of the year 2024, we have seen strength in many of these mega cap tech stocks, and we have what we call the Magnificent Seven, right? Stocks like Apple, Tesla, Amazon that have pushed up tremendously, all right, whereby we see funds pouring to them as they will play in the entire technology sector. But over the past 2 weeks, we have seen a sell down in the mega cap tech stocks, and these 7 mega cap tech stocks, the Magnificent 7 stocks, have sold off as well. And also the past few days, we also had what we call the unwinding of the yen carry trade that saw markets selling down. So as of today, what is kind of like the best 2 or 3 Magnificent 7 out of these 7 stocks? What are the top 2 or 3 stocks whereby we have sold off quite a fair bit, and there could be a good opportunity to get back in again at a discount? Hey guys, Joey here, top tier MyZale trader in Philip Securities, and in this video today, I'll be sharing with you guys 3, alright, just 3 stocks out of this Magnificent 7 that have read it a lot but sold back down over the past 1 week plus. And that's where you could also put them in your watch list. We'll discover some of the key levels whereby we may see some buying pressure coming back again. Where could you potentially time your entry, and where could it potentially rebound to, whereby you could lock in some profits as well. So if you want to know what these 3 stocks are, make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. Let's go. The first stock I'd like to share with you out of these 7 magnificent stocks will be this company called Apple, stock code AAPL, right over here trading at about $209 US. So why do I like this stock? Well, you can see that for Apple, we have been trading, I would say, in a sideways movement since last year. In fact, since 2023 May, we have been trading below this very key resistance level, the 200 psychological resistance level, where we managed to near it a couple of times, but sellers came back and it sold down. In fact, right over here, somewhere in June, right, just about 2 months back, we actually broke above that 200 psychological resistance level. So this 200 would now turn into what we call a new support level, whereby if we were to hit there again, that's where potentially some bargain hunting can come back again. So we have broken out of this 200 psychological resistance level, and the key here is that as it broke above the 200, you can see that we traded all the way to around $240, and of course some bad news came out. We saw a weakness in the mega cap tech stocks, and of course Apple got hit as well, alright? But the key here is that over the past 1 or 2 weeks, right, we have traded back down to that same 200 level that I mentioned, right? So it's a resistance level we have been trading below since last year, since May. I would say more than a year plus, more than a year we have been trading below it. We broke above it, and now, alright, this resistance has turned to a support level. We are approaching it, and the key here is that as we broke above that 200, right, you can see that there are signs of the longer term trend starting to form as well in terms of the 100 days moving average. You can see this red line, 100 days moving average, started to slope up with the blue line sloping up, right? So past 1 of a year since May last year, as I mentioned, it was a bit of a sideways, more of a kind of like consolidation mode, but right now there are signs of the longer term uptrend forming as long as we stay above 200. All right, so the past 1 week, you can see that we hit it to 200, and the key here is that there are some bullish candles that are spotted. So this 200 is a resistance level. It has turned into a support level. So right over here, we can draw this zone, anything from like 200 to 205 to 210, right over here. That is potentially where some bargain hunting can come back again. So over the past 3 days, it seems like we're seeing some bullish candles right over here. This is what we call like a bullish spinning top. In fact, yesterday as well, buyers started to come back and push prices higher, and it closed somewhere at the day high as well. So anything from like 200, 205 to maybe 210, you can see that buyers are starting to come back. So as long as you stay above 200, I think this could be a really good potential grounds for more upside to happen, for a potential rebound to happen, all the way to maybe 230 to 240. And just based on this upside, you can see that it is about a 19 to 18% upside, just based on this rebound all the way up as it reverses up to retest that original 240 resistance. So what is one of the concerns that I'm looking at? Well, you can see that in terms of the longer term trend, as I mentioned, it is slightly starting to point up, but in the short term, right? So in the short term, we look at what we call the 20 days moving average that is represented by this green line right over here. So you can see that since like February this year, this green line line has been pointing down, prices below it. So not good. It's pretty much a short-term downtrend. But somewhere around like in May, you can see the 20 days moving average line started to slope back up with prices going above it. And that's where we saw the rally all the way up here. Of course, we broke the 200 as I mentioned as well and went all the way to 240. But right now, let's take a look at the 20 days moving average, right? So you can see that this 20 days moving average over the past 1 month, it was up, started to flatten out. And now it is starting to point out a little bit. So the short-term trend, if you ask me, I would say that it is slightly down. We're not entirely out of the woods yet. I mean, even though we have reached that 200 support whereby some bullish candles are spotted, but we're not entirely out of the woods yet. But if we can see this like 20 days moving average, this green line, let's like now it's pointing down, but let's assume that over the next 1 week or so, if this green line starts to maybe point down a little bit more and maybe starts to just flatten out a little bit right over here, let me just put it in green color right over here, and maybe starts to point up like what we have seen over here in April, May, well, that could be another confirmation, right, that this support at 200 would hold and we are seeing some stabilization. These bullish candles are all starting to play out. That's where we could potentially start to see that rebound back up. Does it make sense? All right, so that's how you can tell in terms of the not just a longer term trend, but also the short term trend on top of bullish candlestick patterns that you want to spot at these support zones. Okay, let me move on to the second, right, mega cap tech stock, one of the magnificent 7 stock I will share with you, and that would be Microsoft, stock code MSFT. And by the way, guys, if you like this video, you found some value so far, what I'm saying makes sense, make sure you give me a like, smash the subscribe button as well, hit the follow button so that you will not miss out on any videos like this, and that will really help out the channel. Thank you so much for doing that. Right, let's go ahead to talk about Microsoft right now. One of the stocks that I like as well, it looks really attractive, looks like a huge discount right now, and that's where you want to put them in your watch list as well. So this is Microsoft at about $398. So you can see that, you know, over the past 1 month, we have hit it to a high of around the $470. So that was where, and it was pretty much consolidating sideways, a bit of resistance here. Of course, the bad news came out, sell down a mega cap tech stocks, and of course, Microsoft went down. It broke certain support like the 450, 430 gave way, and it's down. But over the past few days, it seems like we are back to this support level around that 390. So I think about 385. Let's just put 385. So I mean 385 to 390. Let me show you what I mean, right? So you can see right over here, this was like a bit of a resistance level in November last year. We attempted to break this resistance at about 385. So 385 to 390, all right, went all the way back up, came back down, retested this new support level. Same thing, went all the way up, came back down, and now we are pretty much back to that same 385 to 390 level. Does it make sense? So right over here, you can see it coincides as a resistance to a support, and we are back here right now. So I'm not saying that it will surely rebound from this, but you know what I'm saying, that over the past 7 to 6 months, we have been trading above this 385 to 390. It was originally a resistance level, and this potentially where some bargain hunting can come back again. All right, and in fact, just about 3 days back, we saw quite a bullish candle coming out right here as well, whereby, you know, buyers started to come back up, push prices up. It closed somewhere at the top. It's a bullish, what we call spinning top, so that's a good thing. And of course, the past 2 days it started to push a little bit higher, so it seems like some buying pressure is coming in from about 385 to 390, and you can see that we are also very near what we call the longer term moving average. So the longer term trend for Microsoft MSFT has been up since last year. If you look at what we call the longer term moving average, so the red 100 days moving average line, you can see it cross above the blue 200 days moving average line since like April last year, and you can see both of these red and blue line, they're both pointing up. The red is still above the blue, so longer term trend still looks okay. Of course, in the short term, we are indeed seeing some selling, all right, but the key here is that, you know, where can we see some support coming back again? Because when the longer term trend is up, highly likely we may see some good bargain hunting at certain key support levels. So you can see that we have traded lower back to what we call the longer term moving average. So you can see right over here when we neared the longer term moving average as well, right over here, there was a sell down from July last year all the way until like October. We can see, right, it sold off by about 15%, all right. So today, let's see how much it sold off. It sold off by about 16%. So right around there, right? So you can see we actually can sell down in the short term as well, even though the longer term trend is up, right? So we have sold off previously and it was near the longer term moving average, and that's where I started to see that rebound. Same thing, right? Now we are very near the longer term moving average lines as well, as on top of the horizontal resistance turn support that I talk about. So I think this zones right over here, 385 to 390, they are very key if you to see signs of the short-term trend turning back up, or maybe just stabilizing, like this green line that I mentioned previously as well. Now it's pointing down, right? Because the short-term trend is down, as I mentioned, right? But if it starts to maybe down, and it starts to just flatten out, or maybe starts to point back up right over here, I think that could lead that reversal back up. That's where you could think about getting in again to ride the recovery phase. So let's move on to the third magnificent stock out of this entire 7 that I'd like to share with you. And this company is called Alphabet, stock code GOOGL, right? And by the way, guys, if you like this video, you want to find out a little bit more in terms of my entire one good trend strategy, you can attend one of those free webinars that I'm running. The link is right below this video. Around this video, click on it to register for this free webinar, whereby I'll share with you guys the entire framework of the strategy, right? So you know exactly what stocks to focus on, when to get in, when to get out. All that will be covered step by step, right? So the link is right below. So let's move on to Alphabet right now. So Alphabet, you can see, is trading at about 158 US dollars. So just a quick run through, you can see that we have turned into an uptrend. Same thing like Microsoft since last, in fact, right over here somewhere in May, we saw the 100 days moving average line crossing back above the blue line. So around May, we saw a higher consolidation. We broke like the 110. You can see 100 went above the blue, red above the blue, up. You can see it was a very gradual, strong uptrend in the longer term. Of course, in the short term, we did see some selling. Look at this, right? Selling in like November last year, even in January this year, we saw selling as well. So in the short term, we can experience some form of selling for like a month, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe more than a month as well, right? And right now, of course, we are seeing selling again from a high of around the $190. That's where we form a bit of a resistance level, right? We're trading sideways for a while, and of course we saw the 20 days moving average line flatten out and point down. So of course right now the 20 days moving average line that gives a gauge of the short term trend. You can see it is down, it's pointing down, right? So it's normal that we are seeing some selling, right? So where is a key level whereby some bargain hunting can come back again? Well, first thing first, you can see that as prices retrace back down to some of those longer term moving average. So right over here, you can see same thing. We retrace back down and we neared the red and the blue line. Remember the 100 days moving average and the 200 days moving average. Right over here, you can see we neared it and pump, the rebound happened. Same thing. We retrace back down, we neared, or we kind of like in between the 100 days and 200 days moving average. Same thing, the rebound happened. All right, so right now you can see we have sold off, and prices is also kind of like very near, in fact, it's in between the 100 days, the red line, and the blue line. Does that make sense? It's something like this right over here. So it retrace back down to what we call the longer term moving average, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing is that you can see that this level, the 150, was a very key resistance since last year, November, October, December, until somewhere around like April. So for like about 5 to 6 months, we were actually trading below 150 until in like April, we attempted to break above it. Great, held above it for a while, and that's where the move really started, all the way from like 150 to like 190. So 150 would be a pretty critical psychological resistance level we have tested for a while, and now it has turned into what we call a support level right over here. So you can see it kind of coincides, right? First of all, it's near the longer term moving average, plus it's also near the 150, could be 155, could be 160, but I think you get the point, right? 150 to 160 around there. That is potentially where some bargain hunting can come back again, right over here, So same thing, right? If we can see the short-term trend start to stabilize in terms of this 20 days moving average line, this green line pointing down, it might just continue to point down, I would say, because now we are like just finding a support. It's only like 1 or 2 days, but next 1 or 2 weeks will be very critical if we continue to consolidate and stay above that 150 support level, plus this 20 days moving average, the green line starts to flatten out, maybe starts to just slightly reverse back up. I think that could give another confirmation of that being a good support, and that being another ground for that reversal to happen, maybe all the way to like 180 to 190. All right, so that is Alphabet, the third magnificent stock out of this entire 7 that I'll share with you, and I hope that you have taken note of some of the key levels. So yes, there we have it, guys. These are the 3 stocks we have: Apple, AAPL, Microsoft, MSFT, and of course we have Alphabet, GOOGL. I hope you like these 3 stocks. You want to put them in your watch list. They are looking really attractive. It's a huge discount from where we were just about 2 or 3 weeks back, and you might want to watch them as well, right? So if you like this video, guys, go and give me a like, smash the subscribe button, hit the follow button. That will really help out the channel. And as I mentioned, right, today I just pretty much dive into the stock directly, right? I didn't really have time to explain the entire strategy, but if you want to find out a little bit more in terms of the entire strategy, the one good trend, one GT strategy, attend one of those free webinars that I'm still running. The link is right below the video. Click on it, attend it. It's like about 2 hours long, and that's where I'll share with you guys in detail, and plus how we have a system that guides us on entry and exit as well, and takes the emotion out of trading or out of investing away, right? So Joey here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.